I can remember in the wintertime, we went to the fair and I won a goldfish in a bowl. I brought him home and set him next to my bed. Next morning I woke up and he was froze solid. The whole glass and all was. That's how cold it was in the house next to the fire. I mean, we had a fire in the house, but still, that's how cold it was.
It got so cold here one time, but I'd go out there in the morning, about daylight and milk.
Wait a minute, Dave, we got to do that again.
Okay.
Come in, cause I want you all to greet him.
Don't you say, hey,
Oh, okay.
take your food.
Take your food. Come in.
I wrote that picture. I wanted Granny to see it.
I mean, when he comes in, I want you to act like you didn't know he's coming in.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
I didn't know if we were supposed to or not.
Tell that same story.
Yeah.
Story where you met your wife.
Okay, that
Oh
one, yeah.
Lord. Well, she come from the farm up here to visit a friend, and we had such a good time. Everybody here, I mean, she just enjoyed it so much here. She wanted to come back every weekend, and that's how I met her. And so that's how.
Tell them what you thought of me when you saw me.
Hey,
Hey,
Scott.
Scott,
there.
how are you?
Fine. How are y'all?
We had you some tea.
Well, I didn't want any tea. I wanted some pizza. And I brought my own Coke.
Tell them about what? Tell them.
Oh, where you met me.
I met you here.
I know. Yeah, at NYF.
Oh,
we
at
had
NYF. Yeah, we had NYF, but I don't know where other meal companies now furnish as much stuff for other people as they did here, but they wasn't nothing you wanted for. I mean, anything you wanted, they supplied it. And I don't know how. I know my daddy never wanted me to work in a mill. He had a horror of me ever working in a mill. So
I didn't want you to have to make the little wages I did. I know, I know how it is when you don't draw just a few dollars a week and got a family to support.
So when I was young, I went to work for Coca-Cola, and it pleased Daddy well, and that was one reason I did, because it pleased Daddy so much. He was so proud of me working for Coca-Cola. So.
When
That's why he got into refrigeration business, and he finally went into business for himself. So he does all right.
When I was just a kid here, we didn't have all of them opportunities. The way we made a nickel a dime, we'd go to the woods and cut brush brooms. We'd cut little young dogwood down. We'd make brush broom. We'd tow them about a mile to and come back and sell them for about a dime. Then we'd pick blackberries. We'd sell them for 15 cents a gallon.
Well, I mean, the brush brooms, what did you do with them?
Swept the yard. People wouldn't let grass grow in the yard.
You didn't have a lawnmower, so there's no way to cut grass. You had to dig up the grass in the yard.
If
And
the grass
keep it
come up, they
swept.
dig it up and sweep it. They kept it swept clean as a pin all the time.
Some of these women see some grass coming up in the yard, it's like a snake out in the yard. They'd run out there with a hoe and dig it up.
They dig it up. They wouldn't let the
Afraid
grass
they'd get
grow.
away from them.
And sometimes they'd ring broom sage to make brooms to sweep the floors with.
We used to sell fish, set out rabbit boxes and catch rabbits and sell them. Just anything, blackberries, like foxtails, blackberries, brush brooms, and cut people's grass,
Frog
make money.
legs.
Yeah, just anything to make money.
Scott, have you ever eaten any frog legs?
Joe was talking about
You like
Mr.
frog
Bowie.
legs?
Mr. Bowie said
Not
one
really.
day he wanted a blackberry pie. People used to make pie out of blackberry. He said there was so many blackberries down in the pasture. He got his gun, went down there, said they come over him and he shot. Said, I reckon I must have shot too low. Said I didn't kill a bird, but I picked up a basket full of feet. That's what he said.
That man was he was Will Rogers of East Newton.
He bought him a gallon of liquor, and he come in one night, he put it full when he come in. He didn't want nobody to see it. If anybody caught you with liquor, you was gone. You had to leave. And he went around behind his house and crawled all the way under the house and crawled out in the front yard and set his liquor out in the front yard.
Behind a brick pillar.
Yeah, behind a pillar, and said he crawled back under the house all the way back to the back and got up and went in the house, and said next morning he got up and sat out on the porch. When the sun come up, so he looked out there and there sat that gallon of liquor right in the front yard.
He didn't hide it, did he?
No, he didn't hide
Set
it.
out in the front yard.
He hid it too well. He crawled all the way under the house instead of stopping part way and
What
hiding
they
behind the
did-
pillar.
Pop, you know that if you did anything wrong around here, they made you move. Did
Yeah.
you lose your job?
Yeah, they fired you. And,
But now, what did he do the time they made him move?
they
What-
fired him, and he lived on one side of the street, and they fired him. And he know the rule. If they fired you, you had to move off of the village. When you moved off the village, you come back and they put you back to work, but you had to leave the village. Well, they fired him, and one day the house come empty right across the street in front of him, you know. Well, him and his wife moved over there. And he went in the mill the next day and told Mr. Wood, said, well, we moved. And he said, all right, Walt, you can bring all your family over here and go back to work. And he went back to work. And he said, he forgot to ask him, said he went back about a day or two, said, Walt, said, I forgot to ask you, where did you move this time? He said, across the street. And he got tickled, you know, the superintendent got tickled. And he said, well, said, you know the rules, but said, this time I'm going to let you buy with it. Said, you know better than that, but I'm going to let you buy with it this time.
Well, how did you feel when you knew that you were so under the thumb of a person like Mr. Woods?
You just kind of like being watched by the law or something. He'd walk the street at night, you know, he'd walk the street and he kept ordering him all the time.
I can,
It wasn't bad though.
It wasn't bad,
Like,
he just-
it was like your mother and daddy, you know.
He'd just get on you. He'd tell you.
He'd get after you if you misbehaved anything.
But
But
I mean,
it-
it made people keep the places up. Though.
Yeah, he
Oh,
got
yeah.
to,
care
you had
of
to
them.
keep it
everybody,
up.
everybody
Kinda-
kept things clean and neat and in order. You know, your house was in order.
I remember one night we had a kerosene ball. I reckon y'all seen kerosene ball. You'd make a ball out of a strings, you know, cotton string. Then you soak it in kerosene a day or two. Then you stick a match to it at night, and you'd get out there and you play pitch with it and throw it up in the air, and then it was pretty, that ball of fire. And we was playing one night, and somebody walked up and stomped it out, and it was him. He just said, "Now, kid, that ain't right. Be playing here with that kerosene ball." Says, you might burn one of these houses up. You know, they didn't have a fire truck here then. You had to call the city, and city would charge you when they come out here. They
Yeah.
come out here, they charge you.
I understand if somebody got in the family way, that they made people move. Could you talk about that?
I never did.
I never did know that, no, sir.
If that had been true, there wouldn't have been near as many kids around here as they were.
I wouldn't have 200 brothers and sisters.
Because I tell you what, when work got scarce, you know, like maybe they wasn't working but 2 or 3 days a week, that's when people, about 9 months from then, there'd be another crop of kids around.
No, they wouldn't pay for that.
Now, I think that when times were short, they called it, when they didn't have a lot of orders and they were laying off hands, and they let the head of the house work. If a widow woman with a family, they let her work. And I think a lot of young people had to slip around to get married and keep it a secret if they wanted to work. You know, the woman wanted to work too.
They just gave the most important ones the job in the
The
family.
head of the
The head of the house,
household.
they let you work if they could. They'd provide work for you.
I guess if a unmarried
You worked in the
person,
mill, too.
you know, was in a family way, they would probably make a
didn't?
move.
Late
I think
1920.
so.
But
He wasn't about 20.
just about everybody felt like that, you know, that if you got fired,
This is the
it
group
was
mode.
kind of a disgrace because they knew you'd done something bad or something you shouldn't have, either conduct-wise or job-wise.
Well, now, when back to 1934, when there was the strike, we know that they put a whole bunch of people out.
Yes.
Were you could you talk about that?
Well, they let a lot of them go that was working to organize a union. You know, they didn't want a union, and lots of them was ahead of it. If they worked over here, they'd let them go.
They just
They
did,
somewhere or another.
they just didn't, you know, businesses down south especially, I don't know how, well, I don't guess they did up north either, want organized labor to begin with. And they didn't understand all about what it was about and what it was for.
And you needed a job too bad to open your mouth up. to ever, you know. I mean,
Well, you didn't really have. I mean,
you
we
didn't have a
didn't.
choice. I mean, you had to do what you was told, or because what else was you gonna do? I mean, you know.
There wasn't much you could do.
No,
'cause
it is. I mean, you couldn't farm because
And we
of-
didn't realize that that strike was nationwide. We just thought it was this little group over here against the owners.
I tell you another thing, you know, people then would cut wood all day, or they'd plow all day for 50 cents. And that, you know, that's how bad up people was. And I just thought, I wish I could get somebody to cut my grass for $2 or $3, but that's 50 cents a day. And people work like that. And this man telling me the other day that he was painting a house, him and another fellow was painting a house uptown, and said that he was driving his car up there, and they'd paint till dinner, then they'd come home and eat lunch, and they'd go back. And then when they quit, they'd come back again. That was about 4 trips up and back. So he told the man, said, I'm not making any money. Said, ain't no way I can just keep doing this. He said, well, they're making 15 cents an hour painting, you know. He said, well, I said, how about raising you up to 20 cents an hour?
Oh, can you remember having to walk to town to get groceries? I mean, we
Yeah,
used to go
yes,
to-
sir.
We took all them groceries back home, and that was.
I remember one
You don't
time.
remember all that. Where was you at then? You was.
I remember one time when Bud and me first married, and he was a big fan of the movies, and we had a quarter between us, and that's what it cost to get in the show. And he told me one day, he said, there's a good movie on tonight. I said, I think I'll go to the show tonight. And I said, what about me? He said, well, we don't have but one quarter. I said, okay, go ahead. You can tell me about it. So he walked to town, walked part of the way to town, and a man here on the village had a car, and he run a taxi. And that man, he got about halfway to town, and the man stopped and asked him if he wanted to ride, and he told him yes. He got in the car with him and got up there, and he said, where you want out at? He said, oh, here about the show. So he got out, and just for manners, he said, how much do I owe you? The man said, oh, about a quarter, I guess. So Bud handed him his quarter and turned around and walked back home. He didn't get to see the movie.
But you said you thought the strike was only right here local. You mean that you didn't read the papers or what?
We couldn't take the paper then. We didn't take the paper, you know.
We could have taken it if we had, you know, a lot of people didn't have the money. It was more than our budget would stand.
That's what it amounts to financial wise. They didn't have any kind of, you know, and the radio, it'd take so much static on the radio you couldn't hear it.
Mhm.
I mean, I can remember her daddy was the world's worst about turning the dial on the radio. Wah, 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 wah. He'd do that for hours, wouldn't he? I mean, he just, you know.
He turned it one time too many. He picked up Orson Welles' Invasion of the World one time when I was little, and my brother and me both got sick at our stomachs. And were just real sick. But I had never seen my daddy afraid of anything, and my daddy was my hero. And I'd never seen him afraid of anything, and that was so realistic that he was sitting there listening to the radio, and he said, you know, that might be the end of this old world. And when he said that, I just got so sick at my stomach I couldn't stand it no more. I had to get up and leave.
You know, you're talking about the papers. I used to be a paper boy here one time when I was just a little bitty kid. And where we got the papers, the 6 o'clock train from Atlanta came down, and it came through East Noonan. Instead of, they didn't stop, they just threw the papers off. They kicked them off over at the crossing across the pond. Used to be a depot over there. And they just kicked the papers off, and them papers hit the ground sometime, and they'd wind up, wouldn't be nothing but just thread, you know, that's what it tear them up so.
Edna,
Yes.
you know something about the strike now. Could you tell these young people about it?
Well, they were going to organize the mill hand workers, and they would go around and talk to them about it and try to get them to join. And I think one thing kept them from joining. They knew they'd have to pay union dues, and they felt like union dues coming out of their small wages would be too much out of their budget. And another thing, they knew that if the union didn't win, they would lose their jobs, and so a lot of people that might otherwise have joined didn't.
It wasn't like going to town getting another job, was it? I mean,
No,
you,
jobs were
you
scarce.
couldn't be bought, could they?
I
Uh-uh.
think
Did
the-
y'all ever have to vote on it?
They didn't the first
they
time.
did the first time. They just locked
It
us
never
out.
came to a vote the first time, but the second time. Now I wasn't working the first time, but I think I was the second time, and people voted it down. But I still think it was because they didn't understand it. Because I worked under a union after I left over here, and it meant a lot to me. If I had a problem, I'd go to the union, steer it, and tell him, and get it straightened out. But
Well, this,
we just didn't. It wasn't explained to us
Well,
well.
it probably wasn't the same union either.
no, this didn't even have a name. They didn't. It wasn't. It
That's
wasn't no
better.
organization.
Some
You know, like
unions
NFL, AFL, what do we call it? Wasn't nothing like that.
It
just
did. You just
get
didn't know
together
it because it
with a bunch of
was
people.
nationwide, wasn't it? What was the name of it?
United Textile Workers.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
UT.
Well, this didn't have a name. I don't think over here. But the first one, now the second one did, I think. But
See
the
if they
first one didn't.
didn't even give it a name. You didn't feel like it would amount to much. And he says he don't remember it having a name, and I was too young at that time to.
Well, it'd
Really,
be like
everybody probably scared them to death because they felt, oh, if the union
Well,
comes in, we'll
it-
be out of a job.
it'd be like selling
That's
tickets
all
to
they-
the moon. Then I
Mhm.
mean, people didn't understand nothing about it. It was just something.
Well,
Scared them to death.
you
so
know-
Scared 'em to
bad.
death.
Quite a few people here took the daily paper. We took the daily paper, but I don't remember reading about it being nationwide. Of course, I probably didn't pay a lot of attention to anything except the funny papers
That's
back in
what it
those
was.
days.
You thought it just something stirred up around here. You didn't know it
Yeah.
was. You didn't
I don't
realize
think the job was the biggest reason that people wouldn't join it. Well, that was one thing, but another thing, you had to move, and you couldn't move if you didn't have nowhere to go. There wasn't no way you could move.
Where
you-
was you going? You
you
didn't have
wasn't nowhere to go.
You
Yeah.
were stuck
That's-
here,
and
and
you
you had
stuck.
to do.
Well, see, it sounds like a labor camp or something where you make it sound.
It was. I mean,
I mean,
it
you felt like
wasn't-
it was like the mill owned you, and this. I
the
mean,
meal
even-
did on you, and the kids were scared of them. It was like the booger bear to the kids. The meal company. Don't do that. The meal company will get you.
That's because that's what they always told you.
Well, now,
If
see,
did it, the
Yeah,
meal
you
company
had to
would
be
get you.
straight because the meal company would get you, and that's where we felt. It was like a
Right,
booger bear
it's
to
like
us.
they was in a mill camp.
Well,
We
I'm gonna
were in a way we was in a camp.
Yeah.
But still, they were so good to you till you didn't resent it.
No, I tell you, I feel sorry for Scott. People that wasn't raised like we were.
You know,
They don't know what life's all about.
They
we
didn't
had
have
a
no-
ball.
they
I
didn't have no
mean, you
company
know.
store here or nothing, but I know a mill right close by did have a company store, and I know some people worked out there
That was wrong.
30 years and never drawed a paycheck.
That was wrong.
Never drawed a paycheck.
Why?
They owe
What-
it all to the
What they
company
would
store.
do, Carolyn, I know a guy that did. I know a guy that he would go up and charge something at the store and sell it at the mill to somebody that needed it and get that money. And he never drawed a paycheck.
They
The whole
didn't. They
time
didn't.
he
Lots
worked
of them never did draw a paycheck. They owed it to the store. You could go get anything
That-
you wanted, but
there. You could get what you wanted. It was so easy
On
to
a
go in there and say
credit.
you can
What,
get it.
clothes and everything?
yeah, anything you wanted.
Anything you needed
So
was a
they
meal
just didn't
company.
get
So
a check.
you just
so
didn't draw a
the
check.
company paid it to the store. I mean, well, it was.
It,
They
took,
take
it,
it
it
out.
was
Yeah.
put on a
Yeah.
tab, and your check was applied to it every week, and you didn't never have no money. Never had no money.
You get what
You
you
didn't even
wanted.
draw a check. They
No,
paid in
sir.
cash money, but you didn't draw any
You
money.
didn't draw a check.
Because you owed for overhaul and your bread and your milk and whatever. You didn't ever draw a check. And you had to settle up before you left, and you didn't have no chance of leaving because you couldn't settle up.
Joe was talking about. Joe was talking about. You know, they sell that. They sell that stuff to people. You know, I know a man. Now this ain't no joke. This may sound like a joke. He seen a man one time with a sack of flour on his back, and he said, "Look at that man. He got a sack of flour on his back. I bet he hadn't got a drop of liquor in the house." That's what he said.
Did it tell them what y'all had when you moved from the country? You've told me that a lot of times.
Well, when we moved up here from the country, we had to buy enough to do us a year. Now you wouldn't do that. Now that'd be.
That was in the country.
This was the country. We moved up here. I don't know what some of y'all familiar with a barrel of flour or not, but a barrel of flour is 48 pounds. Some of them call them 50-pound sacks of flour. When we moved here, we had 16 50-pound sacks of flour. At one time, they were stacked from the floor to the ceiling. 16 50-pound
Well, how'd
sacks
you
of
keep
flour.
bugs out of
There
it?
wasn't no bugs get in them then.
Mm-mm.
You could do that, but now,
Thought it got cold enough then to kill everything. We didn't
No,
burn
but
up the
some
ozone
people, he
layer
had to have
then.
it for the- He had to have it all the way through the summer too. They
Yeah,
bought
but
enough for a year.
we didn't have no problem with bugs because we had it. We kept
Well,
it
we
like
had
a year
one
round.
thing. It had cotton poison too. Paul.
Yeah, it had cotton poison.
That's all you could smell in there was cotton poison.
I don't know how people survived that cotton poison. You could ride through the country and you couldn't get your
You
breath.
couldn't get your breath down there where we live, Scott. You could not breathe down where Kevin
What
lives.
was that, chlordane? Is
I
that
don't
what
know
they
what it
call
Well, we
it?
called it arsenic,
Well,
what they
that's what
said.
Suga says is
Arsenic.
wrong with
You
Kenneth
could-
now. It's cotton poison.
You couldn't breathe for it.
You
Sprayed
couldn't.
so much
There
cotton.
wasn't no mosquitoes because they couldn't survive it.
It wasn't nothing. Cause I mean, it would kill whatever. It'd kill you if you stayed in it long enough. But I mean, everything smelled like cotton poison. You
I
just-
seen my daddy get up before daylight, and that's about daylight, and it'd be a big deer, and he had one of them cotton sprayers that fit around his neck, and it had the handle. And he turned them handles and walked down the road, take 2 roads at one time, and just blowing it all behind him. I don't know how they done it. I don't believe I could stand it.
I remember we had a wood stove, and that was our job. I don't think you ever had no job around here, but mine was to fill up the wood
You
box.
wash dishes.
Cold.
Before I went to bed, I had to fill up the wood box and bring in 3 buckets of coal, and that was a ritual that I had to go through every night. And if my daddy got up the next morning, there wasn't no wood in that box.
You
I
got
didn't.
up too, did you?
I got up early, 'cause I got a, you know. But anyway, we had an old reservoir beside the stove, and we would dip our water out and put it in a tub. Me and Pop sit in here and take a bath on Saturday. Take a bath on Saturday. Well, you took a sponge bath during the week, but took a good bath Saturday.
We didn't have no running hot water.
No, you didn't. You just dipped it out of that reservoir and put it in.
We had a solar
wash tub.
clothesline.
And in the summertime we'd set water out in the
Solar
yard
clothes
and warm it where we could take a bath.
Well, you did all the cooking, didn't you, Dan?
When we lived in the
Last time.
when we lived
Yeah,
in the
that's why
country,
you're
you
such a
know,
good cook.
we lived down in the country, you
She
know,
didn't do it all.
lots of Sunday mornings. Sometimes we'd have company come spend the night. My mother'd get up by daylight. She'd get up and she'd go out in the yard and feed the chickens. She'd catch 3 or 4 big fries, you know, and kill them. And we'd have chicken and gravy and coffee for breakfast. There wasn't no such thing as tea back in
I
the
can
day. You
remember
had to
us
drink
doing that.
coffee. And people don't eat a yard chicken now. They said, no, they wouldn't eat a yard chicken. We were raised on
There
it.
ain't enough meat on them, Pop.
We didn't know no better.
Ain't no meat on them.
There was them because Mom kept them fat.
But I can remember Pop coming home and me and this guy across the street, my best friend. We said we ain't working at no mill over there 'cause I wouldn't come home every night. I'd quit if I was like my daddy did. I wouldn't come home fussing about the boss every night. I'd quit. And that's the way we felt about it. And we didn't want to work in the mill. We didn't.
Well,
And my daddy would have died a natural death if I had worked in the mill.
some of them bosses over there was good. Some of them wasn't. And you do something that they didn't like, or they didn't have a gripe against you, they tell you right quick there's a barefooted boy down at the gate wanting you on the job right then. And some of them was real rough on you. And then them was local people. I mean, they was local people. They
They were in the same boat we were in.
Yeah, they was in the same boat we was in, but they made it rough on
They felt
you.
like they was a little bit above because they had that little bossing
They had that
job,
little-
and they made it hard on you if they could. Well, what? Didn't you tell me you was the first one around that you know of it run Orlon or nylon
Orlon,
or Orlon?
the man from DuPont, came down and when it got to my machine, they started up in where they mixed it and, all through the car room and everywhere. And when it got to my job, I run automatic coolers and I asked him what was that. He brought so much down there and told me that this was a new product that DuPont was experimenting with and he wanted me to run it for the weave shop. And I said, what is it? And he said it was supposed to have the texture of wool and the strength of nylon. And it must have been successful because you sure could buy a lot of pretty Orlon sweaters and things a year or so later.
Do you think that's what put the cotton mills out of business? Is Orlon, nylon,
Synthetics.
synthetics?
Well, no, because they run synthetics on the same machine that they run cotton on. I run some stuff one time it was a strand of nylon and a strand of 14 karat gold, and what it was supposed to do, it was supposed to keep the static out of the nylon seat cushions for the luxury cars. Cause you slide across them, you'd get a sting, you know. And that gold, that metal was supposed to keep them from that static electricity down.
I'm going to suggest we give